Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Retro Carded Snake Eyes. And this is the 6-inch version, of course. So, with all that said, let's get into it! Let's start our covert ops with a look at the packaging. And here we have, warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. G.I. Joe and that classic A Real American Hero style snake eyes. And then that nice ARAH type artwork and the old school Hasbro logo down here. And then a nice big blister showcasing the figure and his accessories. Remember, if it was really old school, it would have the figure in one blister, and then the accessories would be in a separate yet connected blister up on the top. But that's just how it is. Also, it does say 4 and up, and here is a better look at that classic Hasbro logo if you wanted to see it, and up close of the artwork and the figure and packaging. As you can see, I did order this from Walmart.com, and they mailed it in one of those white plastic bubble wrap mailers. And it did get damaged here, and it is slightly bent, as you can see here. But overall, I would have to say the way that they shipped it, it came in fairly decent condition. But Walmart.com, people, things like this, they are collector's items. And there are some people who do collect them mint on card. And when you ship them in those white bubble wrap mailers instead of a box, they definitely will not get there mint on card. So for those of you who are mint on card collectors, just beware of that. And as you can see, it's dented and ripped right here, and of course the little bit of bend it had to it. To me, it's not that big a deal. The cardboard on this is still really rather thin and flimsy, but it feels slightly thicker. It probably isn't. Yeah, it really isn't. But it does kind of feel slightly better than the last two retro carded classified that I got, which was the Baroness and Gung Ho. Those cards were really, really super flimsy. This one seems to have a bit more stiffness to it than those do, but it's still a little bit thin compared to other lines. And again, we have that Real American Hero style G.I. Joe logo, then the file card Snake Eyes, and I'm not going to read all that to you. If you want to pause it right here so you can read the file card, you are more than welcome to do so, and you can even read it in 1, 2, 3, 4 other languages besides English if that is your desire. So pause it here as long as you need to. And then again, that artwork, same artwork from the front, just a closer up view of it. And then we have the cross sale of Storm Shadow, Zartan, Crimson Guard, and this figure, Snake Eyes. Parents, GIJoe.com! Attention! Don't stick things in your French pie hole that don't belong there. Warning, attention, Achtung! Don't stick things in any other language pie hole that don't belong there either. And don't give it to babies. Small fine legalese made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories, and we'll start off with the accessories, and here's the largest of them. Same stand that comes with all the retro series classified figures, and you can see they're kind of like those 25th anniversary stands, and except the difference is these are larger, and of course the names were tampoed on those stands, so they've just given us just the stand. But it's nice, has the G.I. Joe star and 2 pegs that will fit in the figures footholes, so to speak. And again, when I was talking about the 25th anniversary, of course this is different than those 25th anniversary stands. This is the new classified star, rather than they used to get the Cobra or the classic Real American Hero style badges there. And I will go ahead and say about this figure, he is 99% reuse. Most everything you see in front of you is Stalker, except for the head sculpt. And I thought at first it might be the same as the Alpha Commandos 2-pack head, but it is not. That is a new sculpt for the head. So this is a new piece, the satchel, which we'll get to that. And I'm not sure about the grenades. I don't remember seeing them before, but I could be mistaken. But here's the knife that he comes with. It's the same as Stalker. No paint apps, really. Well, it looks like there might be one here, but I'm not sure if that's actually a paint app or just... yeah, it's not supposed to be a paint app. It's just something on there. So it's all molded in black plastic, same as Stalker's. This pistol, again, same as Stalker's. And it does have some nice molded details, and it's a bit realistic looking, so that's fine. And then again, just like Stalker, it comes with this rectangular style suppressor, and there's a port in the barrel of the gun and a post on the suppressor, and they just go together like that. Then here are the 2 grenades, and they do have this tampo on them, GSB N225, and it does look like it has one little stripe on it for a paint app. And there are 2 of those. The molds are the same. I don't know if the numbers are the same. And yes, the numbers are the same. Same stripe as well. And again, I can't remember if we've gotten this piece before, if this is a new piece. You know. But it is a nice looking piece. It does have nice molded details on it. So that may actually be a new piece. Here is the Uzi, the classic weapon of Snake Eyes in his commando gear. Well, also Ninja Snake Eyes came with it too, originally, not in the classified series, of course. And again, this one is the same mold used in the Alpha Commandos 2-pack, and it's fine, realistic looking, and it does have a lot of nice molded details on it. And then the other new piece are the satchel charges, and they're very, very reminiscent of that original Snake Eyes Real American Hero figure. And it does have some nice molded details in it. You can see wrinkles in the cloth, and here's the tops of them, and then there's a little bit of detail here in the strap as well. So overall, it's very nice looking. It brings us back to that classic Snake Eyes Commando Real American Hero look. And then again, the head here is a new mold. It might just be retooled from the Alpha Commandos 2-pack head. I'm not sure, but it is different. The Alpha Commando one has a lot more modern style details on it than this one. This one is just pretty much basically a black ski mask with some goggles. And I do like they gave a little bit of a gloss to the goggles. That does help them stand out a little bit so they don't just blend in with the rest of the head. And then as far as everything else on this one goes, it's all from the head down, it's all Stalker. That was Stalker's, that was Stalker's. The arms, the legs, the torso, even the gear strap here. All Stalker. Now, as far as his articulation goes, he does look up that far. He looks down that far. He's got some chicken neck. He's got some waggle. He can do the full Exorcist. At the shoulder, 360-degree rotation. And he can raise it up slightly past 90 degrees. Cut here at the bicep for another 360-degree rotation. Double hinged pinless elbows, and it gives you that much bend. 360-degree rotation at the wrist on up and down hinge, and in and out hinge on the other side. And then, oops, I missed that. There is a paint app across the knuckles on each glove. Other than that, I don't think there's anything other than the glossy paint on the visor up here. So, but anyway, back to the articulation. He does have a classic Hasbro ab hinge. Allows him to lean back that far, lean forward that far. And when I say classic, I'm just saying that they've used it for a long time. I'm not saying they invented this ab crunch hinge, but that's where I see it the most. And then at the waist, there's a ball joint, so it does give him a little bit of hula. He can lean to the left and the right. He can lean back on that just slightly and lean forward on it again just slightly. And it does also allow for a 360-degree rotation. At the hips, it's on that G.I. Joe pull-down hinge. And with that pull-down, he gives you the full splits. He kicks forward approximately 90 degrees. Backwards, maybe about 2.5, 3 steps. Cut here at the upper thigh for another 360-degree rotation. Double hinged pinless knee, and it is a little tight, although it did not require any soaking. So it gives you that much bend. And there is a cut here at the top of the boot, in the middle of the shin, for another 360-degree rotation. At the ankles, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now I will say there was a little bit of extra mold pieces here on this knee, and I did trim it down just a little bit. It wasn't real bad, but G.I. Joe team, you all guys got to start watching for that. Now, as far as accessory storage goes, the knife goes in the sheath over here on his leg. Boop, just like that. Fits in there nicely and held in place by friction. Pistol, it's the same deal. Just slides into the holster, held by friction. Same thing for the silencer. There's just right in front of the pistol on the holster, there's just a little strap there. Then that fits into, you just put it in there as far as you like, I'd guess. And it does fit pretty tight and held in place fairly well by friction. As far as the charge satchel, while his arm is up there, put it over his arm, around his neck. There you go, that's good. And just like Stalker, I will say, you know, this moves around a lot more than what I would like. Now, as far, there's no strictly grenade storage for these grenades, but what I like to do is take and just kind of clip them on the strap of the Satchel Charge. And they stay on there pretty well. And then no real storage for his Uzi. But of course, you just fit that right in his hand. And there you have it, my friends. He's all stored up. Then you take the stand. You can see there's the two ports on the bottom of his feet. Line it up with the two posts on the stand. And there we have it, my friends. A look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Carded Commando Snake Eyes, with behind him his mold mate, Sergeant Stalker. Classified Series Wave 1 Ninja Style Snake Eyes. And from the Classified Series Alpha Commandos 2-pack, Snake Eyes and Timber. Here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Carded Commando Snake Eyes, with two figures from the Action Force line, the Swarm Trooper with Swarm Gear, and Steel Brigade. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Carded Commando Snake Eyes, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. Our final G.I. Joe Classified Series comparison, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Walmart exclusive G.I. Joe Classified Series Retro Carded Commando Snake Eyes, let's start with the negatives, which is the packaging and the way that it is shipped. And Walmart shipped this to me in a white bubble wrap mailer bag. And as I showed in toward the beginning of this video, it did sustain some damage, but it wasn't, as bad as it could have been. And I think a lot of that is due, they shouldn't be shipping this kind of stuff in those types of mailers anyway. But a lot of it, I think, has to do with the card itself, how thin and flimsy that it is, which the G.I. Joe team at Hasbro says they're aware of it now. They didn't realize it was going to be such a problem. I don't know how that's the case. But anyway, they say they are addressing it. So if this line continues, we'll see how well they address the thickness and flimsiness of the card. As far as the figure itself goes, he's 97% reused. We'll say 97%. The Satchel Charge bag is new. I think the grenades are new. And the head sculpt is either new or retooled. And I have to say, altogether, in this black and the styling of it and the parts that they reused for it, I think it's a fantastic figure. It does take me back to when I was a kid and I got that first Snake Eyes figured at 3 3/4 Real American Hero Snake Eyes, the Commando Snake Eyes, with the Uzi and the Satchel Charge. And this really takes me back to that because of the styling of it. The reuse from Stalker makes a lot of sense here as far as the body goes. You know, the ribbed collar, the ribbing around the cuffs of the sleeves. I mean, that just, it goes right back directly to those original Real American Hero figures. And of course, you know, the stand is reused from they just use that all through this retro line. All the weapons are reused except for the satchel charges and I think the grenades. And of course the head sculpt is either all new or retooled from the Alpha Commando 2-pack Snake Eyes. The Uzi comes from the Alpha Commando Snake Eyes, and I think the grenades might be new. I'm not sure. But everything else, the knife, the pistol, the silencer, the sheath and the holster, even the gear strap, that's all Stalker. And it really makes a lot of sense here as far as it's the way that it was sculpted and stuff. It makes a lot of sense for this Commando Snake Eyes figure because he had those features in the original figure as well. Now, I can't really say there's a whole lot of paint going on this guy. I think there's some glossy paint on the goggles, and there is a stripe on the knuckles of the glove. That seems to be it for paint apps on this guy. Everything else is molded in black plastic, and that makes sense because that's how Snake Eyes was. He was dressed all in black, head to toe. So if you really like that original styling and the Alpha Commando Snake Eyes really just didn't do it for you, this one, it may still be available somewhere. It's maybe going to show up in stores soon. It's been almost a year since I pre-ordered mine. October would make a year. So maybe the other stuff will ship a little bit faster. I know some people have been getting, as of this recording, you know, they've already gotten in Big Ben and Range Viper, and I passed on those guys. And I didn't get the Crimson Alley Viper. I did order that, and the mining dude that's a zombie. I can't remember his name right offhand right this second. But anyway, my friends, I've rambled on long enough. That does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoy making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.